Hello, it's Dove here, and I just wanted to pop on here briefly to share with you a little bit about my own personal story with earthing. In honor of Earth Day today, happy Earth Day. And I mean, really, every day should be Earth Day, but so I was made aware of earthing as a verb, the act to earth, as in to connect with the earth. And I'm doing it right now. I don't know if you can see my feet in the grass. But yeah, so anyway, it's basically connecting your bare skin with some part of the earth that's conductive. So it has to be a conductive material. The earth is great because, especially if it's wet, because water is so conductive. So we're really allowing for a free flow of the electromagnetic current to be continuous with the body and the earth. So without getting into all of the science around it, I just wanted to share that once I became aware of this practice and the potential benefits of this practice, I was really curious to give it a try. And so because some of the benefits seemed potentially hard to kind of track in isolation, because it's like things like, sleeping better and just like feeling better in general and, things like that. It was like, how am I going to even tell if it's the earthing specifically, aside from just like the loveliness of being barefoot in the grass always feels pretty lovely, or swimming in a large body of water like a lake or a river or the ocean. Those are great examples of staying connected. So those are, even though you're swimming, those are examples of earthing. Anyway, so I set myself to a little experiment to consistently practice earthing at least 30 minutes every day. For a while, I was like, okay, half an hour a day, I'll just see if I can start to notice cumulative effects. And yeah, and at first, like, I couldn't, wasn't even really 100% sure exactly what I was feeling. But then I started to have this really interesting experience where, so I had an injury that took me a long time to recover from. It was a really, really bad ankle sprain, and it had gotten to the point where it was like mostly okay, except that if I was doing something really active, like going to dance class, for example, I would be quite sore the next day. And so there was like a week that went by where I was just like, wow, I really noticed that I wasn't sore after the day after the class like I usually would be. And I totally didn't connect them together at all, like the lack of soreness with the earthing, until I experienced it again. And I was just like, what am I doing different? Like, why am I not sore as I was expecting to be sore? Because I would be like, the next morning I would wake up and I literally would be like hobbling with those first few steps, especially. So it was very dramatic for me. And what I didn't actually connect the two until I had an experience where the day after going to this class, I was quite sore the next day. And I was like, I really didn't feel like the class itself was anything like unusually strenuous or like a departure from the previous weeks. And so I was like, wow, that's weird. I don't know why I'm so sore today. And I've been doing really well, not being very sore. And so, weeks went by, and I experienced it again. I was like, wow, like, why am I sore now? And these, the other times I haven't been sore. And then I realized that it was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do my earthing yesterday after class. And it was like, is that just a coincidence? And so I just, continued diligently practicing my earthing and going to this weekly class. And I really started to notice a very specific correlation where, if for whatever reason I didn't get to do my earthing at some point between the end of class and, when I went to bed, then the next day I would be sore. And as long as I did my earthing for me, it was like a half-hour practice. So I'm not sure what would have been the minimum. And certainly, uh, a maximum sounds like a lovely idea to explore. But just given the reality of living inside and stuff, sometimes even just fitting in half an hour felt like it was a noticeable event. So, with my schedule. So anyway, so as long as I practiced half an hour of earthing at some time after class before I went to bed, I wouldn't be sore the next day. And that was just really dramatic and really noticeable for me. And for me, that was really the thing that like kind of sealed the deal for me, to show me that earthing, even if I don't necessarily even fully comprehend all the things that are happening scientifically while I'm earthing, and the electron exchange and free radicals in the body, like I've heard there's all sorts of connections, and I'm just, without having to dive into all those details, I just know for myself it's made a huge difference, and certainly a big enough difference that I'm very motivated to continue with it. And I really noticed that some of the more subtle differences are even just feeling more calm and being able to, it feels almost like an antidote for feeling really frazzled, for me personally. So if you've been curious to explore giving it a try, I certainly encourage you to do so. And feel free to, add to the comments below. I'm going to pop a link down in the comments to a couple of movies that I found really interesting. And The Grounded was the first movie that I saw that was about earthing that really inspired me to give it a try. And then I watched the Earthing movie, which also feels like a really enjoyable watch. So yeah. So anyway, I'm not associated with them at all. I just am motivated to help share the good news of things that I've found especially useful. Because of course there's just like so many things out there in the world to explore. And if you want to give earthing a try, I certainly give it 2 thumbs up. All right, bye for now.